Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another vidIQ live stream. It is our Wednesday live stream where we take you through some fun vidIQ tools that you could be using right now to help your overall YouTube growth on your channel, and we answer your questions as well. So, as always, we recommend you have a pen and paper nearby or on a second screen, a note document. Take some notes because, well, as you know, if you're in America, you might celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow. And I highly doubt you're going to be taking time away from everything going into the holidays to implement all these strategies. So you definitely want to take some notes. You want to be ready for everything we're going to be talking about today. We don't even know because the questions always lead us down all kinds of fun and crazy discussions. Joining me today is none other than Mr. Rob. How you doing?
Really interesting question you posed there, Dan. Who still uses pen and paper to collect notes? I'm using what you might call a hybrid model these days, which is like one of these. What do you call these? You write on it and then you press a button and it wipes it out. I don't know what these are called.
I don't know what that is. That's not a thing.
They're really cool. So I usually make notes every morning about what I'm going to do, but it's blank today because I'm live streaming this morning. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you who celebrate it. I did do a poll, and 64% of you, so nearly 2/3 of our audience, will be celebrating that tomorrow. So very well wishes to you and the holiday season. If you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, just happy Wednesday to all of you.
Happy Wednesday indeed. And then Thursday, subsequently.
And Friday.
And
Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. That covers all of the days.
All the days coming up in the immediate future. So we are vidIQ. Every Tuesday we audit channels, and then every Wednesday we come back at you with some fun YouTube topics. And today, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, we're talking about getting 1,000 subscribers or hitting your next YouTube milestone, whatever that may be. Maybe it's your first 100. Maybe you're on your way to 10,000 subscribers. Whatever it is, we're going to talk about it. And another thing we do, other than these fun live streams, is we are a YouTube extension that you can install in your browser, whether you're Chrome or Firefox. And because in the spirit of, I guess, the sales season, we
both press it at the same time.
We have a Black Friday special going on right now. So there's two different ways you can go about this. 30% off of monthly plans, boost plans. You get that for 6 months, or you can get an annual plan for 40% off, and that will include a 30-minute audit session with one of our vidIQ channel auditors. So you'll get to sit down in a one-on-one call and discuss your channel and the ways you can be growing well into 2022.
Yeah, usually such an audit would cost hundreds of dollars. So not only are you effectively getting that for free, but you're also getting hundreds of dollars off the annual boost plan as well, which we're going to show you a little bit more about. So if you do want to take advantage of that, it's available over the next few days. And I think, Dan, when we get into the Q&A, we'll also ask people, as well as potentially investing in these vidIQ Black Friday deals, what other things may people be buying in the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales? But we'll save that until the Q&A section, I think.
Well, there you go. So vidIQ Boost, for example, one of the many things you get, but this isn't all in it. We're going to show you how to use these now. This isn't all just a big ad, but one of the things you get are daily ideas. And if you're a Boost user, you get 50 of them every single day, 50 brand new ideas to help you on your way to making the very best videos you possibly can. These ideas are designed specifically to get you thinking about what videos you could be creating right now. And they come along with what we call view prediction. Basically, this is a topic that our AI thinks, oh, this would be a good time to make a video similar to this topic. So top 5 worst YouTube channels. Rob, this is for the vidIQ channel, obviously. What's coming to mind when you see this idea?
Okay, so top 5 worst YouTube channels. I am thinking of Channel Makers. I'm thinking of Film Booth. Throw Think Media in there as well. Ben Johnson and Ben Levitt. So I think if I did a video on the top 5 worst YouTube channels, cause a lot of controversy, but since you can't see public dislike counts anymore, not a problem to me. I think, I think there's certainly potential. I mean, obviously,
Not
What you
what I
might be thinking
asked.
about here is maybe focusing on channels that maybe do scams in terms of growing your channel, like channels that are just trying to tell you how to buy more subscribers, more views, that type of thing. So that's might be the idea. That's kind of what's manifesting. I might not call it top 5 worst YouTube channels. It might be something along the lines of top 5 worst YouTube growth channel ideas or something along those lines. But yeah, it's starting to trigger thoughts already in my head.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking along similar terms. Not the names you dropped. That was really low. I was thinking in those terms of like the type of video we would normally make. One of the things that came to my mind was the top 5 worst YouTube channels that you could do like today in 2021, right? Like,
Yeah.
so if you were to start a channel on like a dead game, like no one's playing anymore, for example. So yeah, a lot of different ways we can interpret this, and that's why I wanted to run that exercise real quick, because I think there might be a misconception here. People look at this and go, "Yeah, I'll just make that my title." But again, these are to get you thinking. These are you could certainly use this as your title if you wanted to, but you want to tailor it to your audience. You want to tailor it to whatever inspires you from that idea. So I might save that idea so we can
I
come
was
back
just going
to
to
it.
ask you, Dan, could you just go to the saved ideas now? Because now we've got it saved. And then could you just click on that? Because what it'll do is it'll give you a little bit of extra research. So we can see what people have already done in terms of these ideas. Look, it looks as if there's been some fairly successful videos on this type of topic. Like there we are, Watch Mojo, top 10 worst YouTube scandals. So they've riffed on that idea a little bit, but to the tune of 24 million views, which is fantastic. So there's certainly potential there. Just riffing on the idea a little bit.
Yeah. So there you go. And yes, I'm glad you pointed that out. You can click on all these ideas when they're in list form, and you can dig into the keywords that they're using. And we're also going to check out the keyword inspector in a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So your dismissed ideas will live here in case you have deep regrets about dismissing something. Then you have your saved ideas in here. And of course, you can see this in that list view as well. You don't have to do by cards. If you're on
Look at
mobile,
how
you probably
current
recognize
that
this.
is. That's right on the money, that one.
Yeah, this is fantastic. YouTube to
Yeah.
remove dislike count, hashtag YouTube Shorts. I think it got a little bit confused there by the hashtag. Maybe someone made a short on this and it did very well.
Maybe. But that's also like hinting at the format. Maybe you do want to do some little skit or something along the lines of YouTube dislike counts.
Yeah. So 50 ideas every single day for your perusal, and a lot of that, as we know, can be not having an idea could be a huge detriment to growing on YouTube, because sometimes you just hit that wall. You're just like, what the heck do I even make next? So that is why we bring you daily ideas. I want to look at the keyword inspector though a little bit, because I always love to run through this and think about examples of videos that we could be making right now. Let's say we're doing a little bit of manual research, and we're a certain type of channel, and we want to start digging into different keywords from an idea that we saw. So let's do something. Let's involve chat a little bit. I think. Why don't we ask everybody just describe in one word what your channel's about? And if you're a gaming channel, maybe that's the game you cover. If you're a cooking channel, what type of cooking channel? Maybe that would take like 2 words. 1 to 2 words. Tell us right now what type of channel you have.
Audience interaction, with the vidIQ tools. This should be fun and exciting.
I already see an interesting one. Kiteboarding.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Kiteboarding. Lego animation.
We have Minecraft. We have outdoors. We have animation.
Car detailing.
Math. Casino
Whiskey
craft.
reviews.
Oh, see whiskey reviews. What is jumping out to you? What do you think we could start digging into here? Stationary.
I kind of like the idea of it's already got. I mean, whiskey reviews was interesting.
Whiskey reviews. I did like that.
Yeah.
It was towards the top, right?
Yeah.
We did get a super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Where did whiskey reviews go? I wanted to click on it and have it on screen.
Yeah, I think I've got it. Hang on. And that's so there was kiteboarding. That was the very first one. It's gone. Why can't I find it? There it is. I've got it. Here we go. Whiskey Lovers Society.
All right. So if we're whiskey reviews and we're looking into different keywords that they might be trying to find, I wish I knew more about whiskey, because that would help me a lot here. But let's see. Who makes whiskey? Jack Daniels?
Oh.
I don't know either. I'm not a drinker at all. Let's see. So Jack Daniels, whiskey. So these would just be some keywords. I'm typing it wrong. That I would start with, and we'll see what comes up. All right. So the scores you're seeing here on the right side, the right column, would be our overall score that you would see on the search panel if you had vidIQ installed. So, for example, just the term Jack Daniels has 44 out of 100. So we're looking at high competition. We're looking at this number here in terms of search volume, 44 out of 100. Not the strongest keyword alone, right? You probably wouldn't want to have your entire video in terms of search riding on the keyword Jack Daniels by itself. Does whiskey have an E in it? Because now I'm confused. Because whiskey with an E in it has some high competition.
Hmm.
And now I'm not sure. Now this is making me question what I know about the word whiskey.
Questioning my abilities to spell. Yeah.
We have bourbon popping up here. Whiskey reviews right there. So wouldn't probably make that my title. I might keep that out of my title completely, honestly. We have Scotch. I'm trying to see. And then on the right side here, on the over in the top trending videos section, we get some really interesting results. A roulette whiskey review in Hindi. This one has 414 views per hour right now. And it must have been uploaded, 4 hours ago, because I was going to say it only has 1,500 views. So it's very high views per hour. So that might be a channel to dig into if I am Whiskey Lover Society, because this person's obviously an authority in the space, and I keep clicking on it to. There we go. Jack Daniels Coy Hill High Proof Review. This one has 100 views per hour. Was posted about 7 days ago. We got 18,000, almost 19,000 views here, 87 views an hour on this Jack Daniels aged 10-year bourbon whiskey review. I can definitely see. Look at all these different channels that cover this too. Like, this is a very interesting niche that I did not know about. So what I would do here is, after looking at some keywords, and the only reason I'm not digging more into these is because I don't know enough about whiskey, bourbon, etc. Is the next thing I would do is I'd start looking at some of these channels. So let's look at MB's Man Cave, as we were a second ago. And we're just pulling up that one video right now, but I actually want to look at the channel itself. And if I'm Whiskey Lover Society, I'm starting to look at what are some of the videos they've covered recently and what has taken off. This channel's 164,000 subscribers, and their views, they're posting a few times a week, and they're getting some pretty, I would say, spiky views. Like one here with 112,000 views, exploring the best liquor offers in Delhi. That's interesting. Very long title there. Let's look at most popular. How to drink whiskey. That's really interesting. 2 years ago. And what a simple concept too, right? Like you know exactly what this video is going to be about. Title and thumbnail, perfect. How to drink whiskey. And it makes you, if you're someone who has whiskey at home, you're thinking like, what do you mean how to drink something? What? You may click on that video. It worked for them. So now I might be thinking about other simple concepts that I can take.
30 minutes, say, on the experience of drinking whiskey. I guess there must be a lot to it.
Wait, 30 minutes. I see 13.
13.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I'm like, what? So there's something to learn here about this, which from a viewer's perspective, very interesting. As a content creator, now I'm thinking about what's my take here. This video is 2 years old now. Could you perhaps be making a video on how to drink whiskey? Or when it comes to something you covered, have you started at the beginning? Have you gone back and looked and seen what other very simple tips you can give? Stuff that you take for granted every day.
Can I just add as well? I did a search in the background. I think it is with an E, Dan, or there may be a difference between spelling between US and American. I don't know. Where we're being very silly and uneducated, but it's because we just don't drink. I think either of us. But I filtered by videos in the last month just to see if there was any channels that were really trending in this area. And I'm seeing Whiskey Riffs here. That's a cool channel name. 2,000 subscribers, 2,000 views 4 days ago. You know, I maybe be looking at that as a potential channel to review for my content. And then this also gives you an idea of like different thumbnails from different creators in the whiskey scene. And finally, We could enable inline keywords. This is going to show you all of the tags. I'm not going to preach that tags are vital and useful, but in terms of keywords for different video ideas and things that you may want to be talking about in your videos, then I think keywords are still pretty valuable in this sense, because this person is reviewing specifically Scotch whiskey. And like he spells it, both with an E and without an E. So I'm completely confused now. Like, I'm actually going to, I'm going to now actually, how to spell whiskey. I can do this in the background. Is there actually a video? Yeah, look, somebody's done a video on it and I've got 100 views. Whiskey or whiskey? How is it spelled? That's really, there we go. We'd have to watch the video to get the answer, but
yeah.
Oh, my camera's just fallen over.
It's debated though, which is interesting. So now I feel a little bit less ashamed. So what's really cool about the steps we've taken here in the first 15 minutes of this live stream is that we looked at daily ideas, and then we asked you guys, what are your channels about? Which if you had daily ideas installed, if you had vidIQ installed, you would be getting, if you were the Whiskey Lover Society, you'd be getting daily ideas tailored to your niche. Okay, the AI is going to look at your channel and it's going to identify topics that would be relevant to your audience. So we skipped that step because we're not that channel, but we did go down the road of keyword research and found a channel that, you know what, I might add to my competitor list if I am a whiskey review channel. And once you do that, you can go in to your competitors and you can start digging even deeper. So these are our competitors here. We're always changing these out, updating the list from time to time. And you can do all kinds of stuff with this data, but mainly we're trying to see what's going on in our space. I always like to say I like to have a wide array of people in my competitors list. I like to have people in the upper echelons, right? The places that I could only hope to achieve one day on YouTube, those types of channels in terms of subscribers and views. Then I like the channels to be in there that are closer to the goals I've set, right? Like, so if I have 1,000 subscribers, I might put channels in there with tens of thousands of subscribers because I want to be where they are one day. And the stuff they're doing today is going to be things that are relevant to what I'm doing, and I could probably try and replicate for myself. And then I also like to have people who are lower than me in terms of subscriber counts and views to watch them, see what they're doing, because they're studying probably just as hard as you are, and they're going to be right on your tail. So you want to make sure that you have everybody you can in that list. And if you were to use our app on our dashboard, you can actually really dig in and take different people on and off your list and really get into the data. I think we showed that last time, maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. So definitely check that out. Yes.
I think what's most interesting is that we just took a topic that we knew absolutely nothing about, which was whiskey. And in a space of 3 or 4 minutes worth of research through some of vidIQ's tools and through our own intuition, we worked out that there's maybe an interest in the experience of drinking whiskey, you know, like almost like the oddly satisfying and kind of a Reddit type of form of that. We also learned that there is a debate about how it's spelt. We also learned that there are smaller channels that are having success even now, and they were focusing on Scotch whiskey in particular. So, you know, we've learned these small things, and I know the Whiskey Reviews channel is probably, this is all second nature to me. This is all this is what I'm passionate about. But just to remember who your target audience might be. You're trying to make whiskey more accessible to a wider audience, and these are the type of things that are really the questions that we're asking. So those are things to consider as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, we're always telling people to research, and that's why I like these, you know, kind of streams where we're just going through some of the tools that we use all the time to research, because it doesn't take long. We've only been live for 20 minutes. We learned everything Rob just said. We've outlined all of that in 20 minutes. We, you know, going down one rabbit hole, in a theoretical one, mind you. That's not a channel that we have or know how to run. So it's very interesting. Last comment I'll make here just about our competitor tool.
Hang on.
Yes.
Well, hang on. What? So I decided to just do a search for a rabbit hole.
Because
we're going down one. And look what autocomplete is doing. Rabbit hole whiskey. Is rabbit hole whiskey a thing?
Oh
my word. It is a thing. It is a drink. See, that is the most incredible thing I've learned today. that there is a drink called Rabbit Hole, and I think it's a whiskey drink. OMG. OMG. That's what vidIQ can do for you.
Does our whiskey review channel know this?
Do they? That is a big question.
The last thing I was going to say about our competitors tool is when we look at ours, we're using
it's a bourbon whiskey. It's a bourbon whiskey. That's fascinating. Wow, jeez.
Rob's going to be starting a whiskey channel after today's stream.
Yeah, Rabbit Hole bourbon whiskey. Who would have thunk it?
I'm trying to get like one last point out here.
sorry. One. I'll zip it.
All I wanted to say is that we are looking on this list all the time. We have this thing set up to where we can check it out and we can see different things that are jumping out at us. Obviously, right now we have it set to videos that have come out this week, and it's sorted by views per hour. And right now, Colin and Samir's shorts are just killing it in terms of views per hour. So they're telling different stories about really the culture around YouTube. So definitely an awesome channel to check out. And just the shorts alone could give us a lot of inspiration. Think Media reviewed a drone, so that's really interesting. We have channel makers here, one of Rob's top 5 worst YouTube channels, as he said earlier. If I were starting a YouTube channel in 2022, this is what I'd do, 7 steps. So Nate made a full guide on basically starting a YouTube channel. I think this is like a 30-minute video.
I think he said he spent 100 hours putting that one together, which is incredible.
So over 300 views an hour. It was posted 3 days ago. So that's incredible. That is really awesome to see. And it kind of helps us understand like where our audience is right now. They're planning for next year. A lot of people who are just starting out or maybe haven't started yet are going to find a lot of useful information in there. So all of these things, if you fill out your competitors list, you can get a lot of really valuable insights. So that is just a taste, a sample of some of our tools. And as we said before, you can unlock the full suite of our tools for a limited time. For a Black Friday special, you can get 30% off of 6 months of our monthly plan, or 40% off of an annual plan, plus a free 30-minute one-on-one channel audit with one of our coaches. And that's not you in chat with somebody on a screen. That is you in Zoom with one of our coaches going over your channel.
And as a bonus, if you subscribe to the vidIQ channel in the next 90 minutes, this may happen. Oh, you'll get your name appear. If you haven't subscribed to us before, I don't think you can unsubscribe and resubscribe. I think we established that last time.
Yeah. So with that, I think maybe, I don't know, you want to do some Q&A?
Sure, let's do it. I should let people know, by the way, I'm just currently experimenting. StreamYards has now added hotkeys, which allow us to just switch camera a little bit. So I can put it on Dan, or we can do this 3-way thing, or whatever that button does. So yeah, I'm just playing around at the moment with this. So I want to get into the habit of using these buttons a bit more, just so that we don't have this static thing all of the time. And so yeah, if that happens, I'm practicing with my buttons.
I just brought up mine as well, so now I can also mess with everything. There we go. But which one is? There we go. Okay. So we ask that if you have a question for us, put a nice big hashtag question in front of it. That helps us discern who's talking to us directly, or if there's just a conversation going on in chat and we don't want to interrupt. So this is vidIQ Q&A. We're going to be live for a bit. We're going to be taking your questions. So we're going to start trying to, not so quietly, we'll try, no promises, look for different questions coming in right now. It looks like a whole bunch of people already posting questions.
Yeah, Square Table Degenerates podcast says, if I gave you $12 to get Dairy Queen for lunch, would you get it? Because I am starving. There are no Dairy Queens in my locale, so that would be a job for Dan if that was possible.
No, I don't eat ice cream because sugar. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but I think they're asking them to get them lunch, which we can't.
How do we get it to Square Table Degenerates podcast? Because shipping is another huge issue as well.
I mean, there's DoorDash and Uber Eats and all these different companies that, you know, people just kind of sitting in their car waiting for you to order some food. Not sponsored or anything. Just, you know, just saying. I do have one here. What is the best thing to do when reaching the limit of growth within your niche? So this person's basically saying, I feel like I've hit my ceiling, or I might hit my ceiling at some point. There's only so many people interested in my topic, is kind of what I'm hearing with this question.
Yeah.
What is the best thing to do if that's the case? It sounds like you might have picked a topic that it's time to expand somehow, right? Like the obvious answer is to pivot. It's time to make some kind of pivot, hopefully one related to what you're already doing, just a broader version of it. I see Rob kind of pondering in the background right now, looking.
Yeah. So we're not doing audits, but the channel I think is about NBA Live Mobile, what looks to be perhaps a card game of some kind. And Fat God 4 is ranking very well. I think his channel's doing awesome. So it would certainly seem to be that he is one of the leaders in this space. Whether he has a complete control of the market and the audience is always going to be up for debate. But yeah, it does look as if he's starting to reach a pivot point with his contents. Fantastic thumbnails as well, by the way. Really good stuff.
Yeah, really interesting. So after now seeing the channel and knowing it's about a game, but the one thing I can say for sure is that when it comes to games, you are partially at the mercy of the people who make that game. Or maybe in your case, who stop making that game. If they stop putting out updates, if there's nothing else to talk about because you run through it time and time again. So I guess what it would come down to is there another version of this game coming out? And if so, can you hold out until then? Because you're going to be inundated with content and ideas once that happens. If the developer said, we're never making this again, we're done, then you might want to be thinking, okay, what's a similar game? What's another collecting kind of game? What's a mobile game that I could get into? Maybe it's a whole nother sport entirely, like soccer, football, something like that. I would be looking at those different types of games that might appeal still to that same audience. What you need to do is sit down and identify who your audience is. What are their interests? What makes them tick? Because that will help guide you in your decision to kind of pivot to the next phase of your channel.
There is a little bit of a clue here on the most popular. I think he's experimented in the past with the FIFA, because it looked like sports card sub game perhaps. And I know FIFA is really big on this type of thing, and they did what looks to be a FIFA card game video a year ago, and that did really well. So I'm wondering if there's a crossover there. Like, I think you'd have to do some crossover stuff first of all, like NBA Mobile versus FIFA card game to keep your current audience invested and interested as well. But as you say, Dan, similar sports game or similar sport or basketball or similar type of game, which is card trading type of game. I know it's not exactly that, but that's the vibe I'm getting.
Right. Well, that's kind of where my mind was going to with FIFA and everything. So I'm glad that that's already been something you tested. So that could be somewhere to explore. Okay.
Also, use a community tab. You have a community tab, which seems fairly healthy. You're getting hundreds of votes every time you put out a post. So maybe ask your audience, if I was to do something else, what would it be?
There you go. So we got a lot of interesting questions here. I'm just kind of reading through. We have this one here. How can you grow a YouTube channel about larger projects? My videos take about 5 weeks. That is interesting. I would say the amount, as long as you're consistent, if it takes 5 weeks to get a video done, then it takes 5 weeks to get a video done. I don't necessarily think that's going to be a huge hindrance. Of course, if you were able to upload that quality once a week, you got more shots of the target. You got more juice for the algorithm to feed off of. But what do you think, Rob?
So I think there's two ways of thinking about this, because what you just mentioned there about it taking a long time to put together, that is certainly true. But my guess is that from this larger project, there may be mini projects within that content that you could either repurpose or tease as like 2 to 3 minute videos, perhaps. And also, there isn't anything necessarily wrong with taking a long time to make content. What it needs to be is of a very high quality and viewer satisfaction, which viewers simply can't get anywhere else. Because with people like Mr. Beast and Mark Rober, they create completely unique content that is almost impossible to replicate. So the audience is prepared to wait for their next piece of content. But I think a lot of creators rely a little bit on volume and keep, they keep tapping their audience on the shoulder and say, hey, look, I've got another video out, which distracts them from maybe another creator in a similar field. So as long as your big projects are being watched and viewers are very satisfied by it, then they are going to be prepared to wait. But that is quite a big pressure to make each video absolutely fantastic and really, really watchable. So yeah, I think for newer creators, it does make sense to take more shots of a target to try and refine your technique and your skills before you start moving into these longer projects. But yeah, I'm also thinking repurpose content. I'm wondering if from these 20, 30-minute videos, I'm assuming the longer videos, maybe they're just still relatively short videos, but they just take a long time to film, like animation.
There you go. I was looking at, there's a question I have here and I haven't pulled it up yet because I was just trying to make sure I could pull up what this user was referring to so we can actually explain this real quick. Here we go. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. So it's Rick G. They said, can you explain on the vidIQ dashboard, so app.vidiq.com, how you determine and verify the top search terms for your channel? This is my chat about this is my chat account, but my other account shows very strange search terms. So if we were to look up Rick G, we wouldn't find the channel, is basically what we're being told. So I can't scroll past the comment, but this is what Rick is talking about: top search terms for your channel. And Rob, correct if I'm wrong, but this is determined entirely by the type of content you make, right? Like, so if people are finding your channel, it's through these keywords most
Correct.
of the time.
Yeah. So that's like a small collection of them. I think what you can also do, Dan, is if you go back to the one of the YouTube pages and do channel audit.
Oh, because this was top keywords from the YouTube channel page, the trending button.
Correct. Yeah. Also, so that's a good one. So hang on. Whoa, don't go anywhere. You see the I'll bring that back up. You see the down arrow in the top right hand corner. Yeah. If you click that, that's going to give you. Yeah, click it. That's going to give you a bit more of a breakdown, like how often you're using certain keywords. These are all tags and keywords. So these aren't necessarily how the content is being discovered, but what the channel is using. And so it's just giving you the scoring and the grading as usual. So that's what a channel is using. But if you go to the channel audits, so this is another tool that we haven't shown you today, but it's like fairly comprehensive. And then if you scroll down to the middle panel of results, keep going. A little bit more. Right. So top search terms are also there, Dan, as well. And if you click view more, you'll get a big long list of all of the search terms that are bringing in traffic, exactly how many views and how much watch time. So that's a real good indicator of what's coming in. And then can you click on these as well? I can't remember if you can, because I think if you click on them, it does a drill down of the search traffic in the YouTube studio. So you can get a detailed look there as well.
So there you go. That is, to double answer your question here, though, these are the terms that are ranking your channel. Basically, if people type in these terms, they're finding your videos. So if you're getting really weird results, it might be because you upload a lot of different types of content. So that could skew the data. For ours all make a lot of sense to me. I'm looking at those and like I can account for all of that. I can look at that and like, oh, team trees, that was really big back when we were doing team trees and we ranked really high for it. That's fantastic. So that might be a weird one, but just because we know our content, we understand why that's there. So it might just be a matter of really digging into your content, going into each individual video. You can go video by video and see what search terms are helping to rank that video. So there we go. Thank you for your questions. Let's reset here a little bit. All right. And continue looking. All right.
I did see this one. sometimes it's good to go back to the basics in this type of stuff. Money Power Gaming says, vidIQ, I work hard on my videos and I don't get any views. Also, why I don't grow up achievement, that means why is my channel not growing? I follow your steps and I don't grow. Why? I work really hard. So most, what I will say is that most people who are on YouTube, because of the passion that they have and the message that they want to share, work very, very hard. That is almost like a prerequisite of I think dedication and hard work are prerequisites of being on YouTube. Then it's a case of how to work smarter. And, I'm just going to bring up your channel for a second. Again, we're not doing channel audits, but I look at your channel and I immediately see, I would say, I don't know if it's a lack of focus. I think it's all Minecraft stuff, I believe. But I would say that the thumbnails still need a lot of work. Mm-hmm. So you haven't tried everything yet that we've suggested or other educators have suggested. But that's okay. This takes time. It takes weeks, months, sometimes years to start to perfect your craft. And so I think you're at a point now where your expectations don't meet the current reality of your channel, which is that you're in the Minecraft space. You haven't quite perfected making thumbnails. Maybe there's a lack of consistency or focus here, because I'm not seeing like a through line, although that is quite hard to do when I think the titles are in Russian. So just keep working at it. Keep working at it. Keep pushing through. You'll have these moments of success. I will sort by most popular. I'm guessing you've probably got a couple of videos that are doing a little bit better than others. There's a couple here that are having a few 100 more views. What made them videos perform better? So keep working hard. Keep looking at the education that not only we give you, but other creators such as Think Media, Channel Makers, Ben Levitt, all of those ones that I just roasted at the beginning of this live stream. And just keep working hard, because you will have breakthrough moments. But I know at the moment it feels like you're just chipping away at that rock and there are no gems coming out. I almost guarantee it, like hard work, dedication, and good data to tell you that your videos are performing well will start to finally pay off. But sometimes it just takes a lot of time for that to happen.
It could be that you are genuinely doing everything that we recommend, right? You've focused your channel, you're working on your thumbnails, you're working on your editing, so your retention's good, you're fixing up titles and thumbnails all the time to make sure the videos are pitched correctly. It just takes time and experience, honestly. It looked like you haven't been on YouTube for all that long, and from the views we were seeing, it was actually very promising. So give it time. YouTube is a game about learning and a game about patience. So you might be checking all the boxes, but you're going to get better and better and better the more you keep doing. It's just, that's something that can naturally occur. And one way you can influence that is by making it a goal to improve just that much, just 1% every single video you make, whether it's your thumbnails, whether it's your editing. Go in and before you start the process of making a new video, watch a tutorial on something you've been struggling with, whether it's, maybe you have a really hard time cutting out a figure for a thumbnail, right? And blurring the background. So go look up a tutorial on that, learn that skill. Every time you make a video, learn a new skill beforehand as a way of trying to improve that 1% every single time. But it's not going to happen overnight. There's, you can follow all this advice to a T, but there's experience that comes with this as well.
Oh, here's another interesting one, Dan. Kind of on a similar subject, but almost like the opposite result, but then it's kind of turned a little sour recently. JV Gaming, I was getting about 90 subs per day and 22,000 views per day, and got monetized. So congratulations on that. My views suddenly dropped to 100 a day and 2 subs a day. Why is this happening and how to fix it? So when I look at the channel, again, we're not doing channel audits, but we're kind of observing
very interesting
what's happening here. Yeah, so this channel doesn't have many videos at the moment. They've only got 5 videos in 6 months, but they have just one outlier, this video right here, which has got 350,000 views. So presumably pretty much all of your traction has come from that video. And so my initial response to this would be, it feels as if you've just made a video and now you just sat down and you're just waiting for all of the success to come from that one video, when really you should be doubling down on this and capitalizing and making more and more content to, I guess, diversify your videos, so like you don't have all of your eggs in this one basket, which is this one video that seems to have suddenly stopped. And it could be that either this topic isn't useful anymore because this auto clicker feature doesn't work, or it was getting a lot of search traffic and somebody else has made a better video on this and now they're ranking at the top of the search terms and they've kind of stolen all of your audience. But I think ultimately, in terms of channel progression, I don't, it took you another 4 months to do a follow-up video, and then we haven't seen anything since. And I feel, especially in what Roblox, this is Roblox, I assume, right? People are making daily videos, sometimes multiple videos a day on this topic because there's just so much going on.
Well, and also, what can you learn from this one outlier video, right? It's trolling in cart ride games with an auto clicker. Title's very simple, very, very well done. The thumbnail, great. You can see that it's a cart and you have the word auto clicker there. The other elements on the screen, kind of hard to see, but it didn't matter. Like, the video did great. So I have 2 questions for you. 1, what else can you do with an auto clicker? And or 2, how else can you troll in this game? Because one of those things might be the thing that you can carry through to all of your videos, or a subset of your videos. Maybe just some, once a week you upload a trolling video or an auto clicker video. So experiment. You're using the game as a playground. You're going in and you might be playing this game as it was not intended to be played, and that's why people watched. So try and understand why somebody clicked on this particular video and, follow up right away. Going months without making content is going to also be the killer, because if those 350,000 people were getting recommended your new videos, you didn't feed them very well, like eventually someone else took your place. So it is important to be consistent on YouTube as well.
And then looking at another one of our amazing tools we have at vidIQ here, you can see the lifespan of a video, in that it didn't really do anything for a couple of months, and then it was suddenly picked up by YouTube. So YouTube decided to start testing and recommending this. Again, I don't know the traffic source. I just assume it's search, but I could be wrong. And the video performed really well. Obviously, this was quite a big topic in the summer, and it's just coming towards the end of its natural life, this video. And I think it's high time that you did an update if this type of content is still relevant. For example, Dan does a how to start a gaming video. He does one a year, and he's ramping up to do the next one. We do videos about how to get 1,000 subscribers, and those videos are now 2 years old, and their shelf life is expiring. So we're going to be updating them in 2022. So this is kind of like you're looking in the past and not sort of building for the future. I would say this video now, it's done in terms of performing well for your channel. Look at all of the data within that video. You've probably got 800 comments here. I'm sure there's questions in there that could spark off video ideas. Make more content around this topic that really works for your channel.
I mean, you're using the pinned comments to post the next part. It's just a shame that that part 2 took so long to get.
I guess it was probably timed when he or she started to see growth on the channel. For okay, I'll do a part 2, and they did.
That's a good point.
Which we can see here, but then maybe you could have done something else after that as well. But what's happened in the last 2 months? Why have we not seen you experiment or try anything else?
Yeah. So I mean, great start to a channel, but you don't want to ride one video's success into the sunset. It's not really how it works. Most videos do have, I like how you put it, Rob, like a natural life cycle. There will be a point where they ride off into the sunset, and hopefully you've been continuing to create content in the meantime. All right. A lot of really good questions today. I want to thank everyone for being here, hitting the like button, of course. All right. Okay, here we go. This is interesting because I watched a video. Someone mentioned this in the video just today. How do I get myself motivated to upload another video? Which kind of Minecraft videos, except educational, should I make? So you've already decided I'm not making educational content. When it comes to motivation, this is something that does come up a lot. People are like, I just don't feel motivated, and all that means is you are facing what could be a lack of interest in your topic. Straight up, like that is what's keeping you from making more. Um, I love how the person who was watching earlier put it this way. A lot of people feel like motivation is something that's just like this magic thing that just happens to you. Like you just have to wait until you're inspired, until you wake up one day and you're like, oh yeah, I feel like creating. And I think a lot, we all kind of feel that, right? Sometimes we do have a good day where we're like, yeah, I'm gonna make some videos today. Today's good. But for the most part, nothing will motivate you more than being passionate about what it is you're covering. So are do you like making these Minecraft videos? Do you like the type of Minecraft videos you're making, or is it time to start experimenting with something new? What are some ways that you could motivate you? It's really this is a self-reflection kind of question. We can't really answer this accurately because we don't know you. So, what is going to get you the most excited to create? Obviously not educational Minecraft videos, and that's totally fine. Maybe you make comedy Minecraft videos, and yeah, in that case, how to get motivated? It's play the game. Play the game for you. That would be my suggestion. My other suggestion: play the game without recording and just experience it. Maybe that's what you're missing. Maybe you've been so in video mode that you haven't taken the time to like unplug and reset your brain. There's so many reasons you could kind of lose motivation in something. So it's a very philosophical question, but I hope maybe I've lent you a little bit of clarity.
I don't think I can expand on that answer any better than you have done there, Dan. So we'll go to the next one. A topic very strong in the force with you, Dan, right now. You've been telling us about the community tab in numerous videos, and I think there's another one coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good to spam community posts? I'm going to let you start the answer, and while you do that, I want to try and find some data in the background. So go ahead.
Define spam. I mean, if you're talking once a day, then that's fine. If you're talking like littering your community tab with posts every hour, every minute, that's not doing anything for anybody. You're slowing yourself down for sure. So I always preach once a day. Put out a post if you can once a day, and it should be easy to do because as you're editing videos, screenshot something interesting that's sitting in front of you on the timeline and go, oh yeah, that might make a fun post. I'll screenshot that, I'll make it square, and I'll throw it on the community tab. Be thinking about questions that you want to ask your audience. Make polls. Try and post every single day. That's what I would say. I'm someone who also says I don't think you should post more than that. We definitely have tried different things, and it doesn't seem to hurt too much if we post once in the morning and once in the evening. There's two reasons I don't make a habit out of that. I don't want one post to eat the other in terms of its being recommended, around YouTube. And I also I only have so many ideas, man. Like, at some point I have to set limits. So yeah, I guess that's my answer.
So what I was trying to find out here was like, what is the shelf life of a community post? And so these are impressions. Oh no, hang on, that's not impressions, that's likes. Okay, so let's sort by impressions if it's going to let me do that. Right, so it looks to me as if a community post has a shelf life of maybe 2 or 3 days. I mean, if you look at these ones here, it seems as if when there's a bit of a gap between community posts, there's a longer shelf life, but it certainly peaks in the first 24 hours, I would say. And then when we have community posts that are clumped together, as you say, Dan, I think they maybe trample over each other. YouTube probably says, okay, once you do another community post, then we're going to start to suppress the previous one a little bit. I mean, this is all conjecture, really, and speculation, but that seems to suggest how community posts work. I think at vidIQ, we try and do at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. And if we do 2 a day, then we'll make them different. One might be promoting the live stream, but then the next one might be a question to the audience or a picture or a poll. So it's something of a different nature. And yeah, I think, Dan, you've got a video coming out soon, which has some more detailings on the best ways to use the community tab, right?
Yep. Actually just made the thumbnail for it, or a thumbnail for it. I want to we'll talk about it later, but
Sure.
we might repackage that one, but overall it should come out soon. And I talk about basically mistakes that people make with the community tab that I see all the time, and in doing so, ways that you can avoid those mistakes and then get more engagement on your posts. So just looking, I refreshed chat a little minute ago. I refreshed chat a second ago. Let's see.
What do you reckon? I'm just thinking a little bit more about this in terms of spam. I think if there was any area of YouTube which kind of gives you license to post as much as you like, still within reason, I would say YouTube Shorts. I think you can post, I would say, up to 10 shorts a day, as long as they're spaced out, not just like 10 all at the same time. I'm meaning one every couple of hours. And then YouTube Stories. I think you can also post quite a lot on YouTube Stories. Again, if it's like a theme, if they're connected to each other, like occasionally, if you want to subscribe, I do Q&A on YouTube Stories every once in a while. And this can be really challenging because I've only got 15 seconds to try and answer the questions, which is absolutely impossible most of the time. But, I'll get like 40 questions and I'll reply to 20 or 30 of them. So you've got like 30 stories in a row, all just on Q&A. And I think they work. We seem to get a fairly consistent view count out of them. But again, try not to be spammy. Make it valuable. Make the viewers appreciate what you're trying to do for them with your content.
Yeah. Well, we got people here who are talking about like how often should I upload and asking questions like that. And that always comes down to, well, what's your life like? How much time do you want to invest in YouTube versus the time you need to put into other things? Because that's going to be the most important thing. And community posts are the same way for me. For me, once a day works. I can post once a day because what I do is I sit down and I just basically plan out a week's worth of posts. And it's easy because during the week, as I'm making videos, I'm taking screenshots. I'm doing everything I can to just have content, sitting on the side. And then when I sit down to schedule my posts, boom, 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 get everything put up. And yeah, it's like no problem at all. For stories, for making a bunch of YouTube stories when you have 10,000 subscribers, like, yeah, you can take time doing that. What's the return on investment? Like how, is that going to be something that's fun for you to do? Or are you doing it because you have to? And then in that case, where do you set limits and boundaries? So these are all really mentality questions, self-reflection. We don't have strict hard numbers for you. Like this question.
8 newbie. Is there a specific number for impressions to shoot up and getting my videos go viral? My usual viral video click-through rate is about 10% per video, and my watch time is at least 1,000 hours. My guess is the watch time. So it's not a specific number of impressions because I think impressions is the effect rather than the cause. I think the cause is, as you're alluding to here, click-through rate and watch time. I think once you're sending those positive signals, among many others, to YouTube, then your impression count will increase. Now, if you want to see a super secret document that I've been working on around this topic, then if we can get this live stream to 300 likes, then I will reveal that to you. It's just something I've been working in the background as kind of a little bit of education and trying to determine if there's any patterns, and if there are, maybe we can turn them into vidIQ tools. But yeah, I'm only going to show you that if we get up to 300 likes. Dan, what do you think there? We got the likes are going up now. That's what I want to see. Metric manipulation.
I had a video a while back that it got over 20% click-through rate in the first few hours. It went down slowly over time, as it does. And that video did exceptionally better than a lot of the videos I had uploaded. Would I call it viral still? I don't I don't know. Like it didn't hit like the trending tab or anything. So, I mean, it's different for everybody. It's all relative to the videos you make and your channel. So we'll never have like a hard number, but
Yeah.
if we get 300 likes and Rob, you show this document, I think what people can learn from it is that if they do the same research on their own channels, that those numbers will become more clear for themselves, because you always want to be analyzing your channel against your own channel. Looking at our channel and looking at these numbers isn't really going to tell you anything about your channel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like 10% click-through rate is fairly good for vidIQ, but I know for the channel that you've been playing with, Dan, it needs to be higher, doesn't it? I think it needs to be like 13, 15%. But then for some creators, you know, I don't know what Mr. Beast's click-through rate is, but maybe because he gets so many impressions, because it reaches so many people, maybe his click-through rate is a lot lower. It might be 6% or 4%. Again, that's just subjective speculation because we don't know what his numbers are.
Yeah.
We're still 11 likes short, and then I can share this document, people. Come on.
I've had good luck lately with under 10% click-through rates. And I think it's because the channel's just grown, you know, like it just reaches so many more people than it used to. So I can't get too discouraged when the views are fantastic, but the click-through rate's way down. It's like, well, channel's growing.
As you say, I think it's benchmarking against yourself. Like, let's say your typical click-through rate is 8%. And, you know, 8% over what period of time? Because, again, if I can share this secret document, you'll see that it fluctuates quite violently over the first 24 hours. But let's say it's 8% after 3 hours, typically. If your click-through rate is 12% after 3 hours, then that's a good sign for your channel. And if you can maintain that click-through rate, then maybe YouTube is going to start to increase the number of impressions on that particular piece of content. But it's rarely like a snap of a finger. It's not like YouTube Shorts, where all of a sudden, because I'm starting to consider views on YouTube Shorts as actually impressions, and maybe I'm going to make a video about that at some point to try and explain what I mean by that. Because you don't have a choice with what shorts are played to. YouTube chooses for you. And I feel as if that's your impression, your view right there is the impression. And then it's actually the watch time, which is almost determines the views. Anyway, I'm going off on a complete sidetrack here. What was I saying? I was talking about, YouTube not just dumping loads of impressions on that video suddenly. It might, if you see in the analytics, your impressions kind of do that in the first 24 hours, but sometimes it goes up and then there's a little chink and it just starts to go up a little bit. That's when YouTube is saying good signals. I'm going to start testing this. 4 likes short now. How can we string this out for a little bit longer so I can show you this secret document? Maybe we just do Dan 45 seconds of silence.
Yeah, we might get there anyway, just because I'm trying to find another question.
299. Who's going to be the one? Hashtag like. All right, they've done it. It's 301. All right, so let me show you this document I've been working on for the last couple of months. Since the end of September. So what I'm doing right now is, we're going to need to hide this question. I am tracking the click-through rates in the first hour, 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, the impressions, and then the views. And what I'm seeing here is that impressions seem to be more linked sometimes to the topic as opposed to like the success of a video. You're going to have to put me full screen, Dan. Nobody's going to be able to see... no, not me, the other thing, sorry. This thing here.
I was trying to do some camera swapping while you talk.
Yeah, so like these impressions here, like 215,000 impressions. I've put this in green because I'm trying to set conditions for what's good and bad. And like this one about how to monetize your YouTube channel, I got loads of impressions, but because I got loads of impressions, I think it actually impacted the click-through rate. Now, this is a search-driven video. I'm expecting it to do well in 3 to 6 months. So there's a long-term game on that. Whereas other ones where like YouTube probably doesn't really understand what the topic is just by the title. You know, YouTube did this to everyone, hiding public dislike counts. Very low number of impressions, but a very high click-through rate because whoever YouTube was sharing it to was doing it really well. So you can't really just judge it on 1 or 2 videos. I think you've really got to go through the patterns here. And I'm also tracking other stuff here, like how many views I'm getting in the first 24 hours to try and determine what is a good view count for the channel. And then, you know, which videos perform well. So we've got a couple of green ones there, and it's these intriguing ones, like millions of YouTubers can now do this. YouTube just does this to everyone, like the fear of missing out. Like what on earth is he talking about? And I'm also doing other things that I'm not sure are working yet, like views per like, views per comment, average view duration, video length. So these are all just things that I'm looking at in the background. I feel as if I'm going to need maybe a 50 to 100 videos of tracking all of this data before I can get some real concrete opinions on this. But yeah, that's the detail I'm going into right now to see what's going on in the channel. You got any questions about this, Dan? Is any of this interesting?
You had showed me this document. I think it's a really interesting breakdown and a really interesting way to look at the data that is available on our channels, just presented in a different way. So I like that, and I think this is going to help us really come up with a lot of correlations. So like you said earlier, certain videos are getting really good impressions.
Yeah.
But when that happens, obviously the click-through rate is affected by that. You know, it's a wider group of people, and it might be people who have never seen your channel before, and that alone will impact their decision to click at times. So it's really, and you know what's funny too about that video that had really high click-through rate but didn't have a lot of impressions? It's that we went for like a fully emotional title. I think we really targeted people who have seen our channel before, our returning viewers on that one.
Yeah.
And so you get this initial burst of views, but in the long term, the video is a much shorter shelf life because you hit everybody kind of all at once, and then you don't do enough to bring in the new people.
Yeah, so a good example there, Dan. So which one was it? It was YouTube just did this to everyone. So this is like the public dislikes count. This has a limited shelf life anyway because it's a news story.
Yeah.
But if you look at how that video's performed, which is here, which I've just renamed this actually now to this video has unknown dislikes because now they've removed the public dislike count. So I'm thinking that might have more clickability than what it had before. But if you go to the analytics, I think it's done that classic thing where it's great in the first couple of days, but now it's flatlining because there's no shelf life to it. I don't think it was a news story, and that's fine. But then going back to the interesting observations here, look at this. Monetization, 200,000 impressions. Monetization, 200,000 impressions, but that video performed really poorly. And then, I think there's another one here about monetization somewhere. Where's it gone? I think I've lost it.
At the bottom, second to last one.
Yeah, that didn't have as many impressions, but that one performed really well. So maybe YouTube was taking the data from this one saying, this channel gets really high click-through rate when they talk about monetization. Let's pump in more impressions when they talk about monetization again. Again, all theory, speculation, but I need more data to find the patterns here.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for sharing that. I think it's always good to help people understand the way we kind of look at things. I don't know. I kind of relate that to, in a way, emotionally detaching from your content. You know, when you don't want to think of it like that in a way, because you, as a creator, you want to be emotionally involved. You want to make the best content you can. But I mean, at the point where you post it, then it becomes a curiosity. Like, how's that going to do? Like, how are all my decisions that I made, they came together in one video, how is that going to perform now? And I try not to get too upset when it doesn't meet expectations, right? And that's the part where I'm emotionally detached, because my new emotional investment is in the next video I'm making, not the one I just posted.
Your community is subjective, but the data is always objective. And although you don't want to lose your mind over the data, because that can be paralyzing sometimes, which I think is, an indicator of some of the questions we've had here, where all my views have suddenly dropped, or I'm working really hard and I'm not getting any views. That's kind of like the objective data really crushing your spirit a little bit. But I guess when you have a bit of experience and you kind of know what's succeeded in the past, and now maybe the channel isn't performing as well, then it's time to maybe delve into the data to find if there's any indicators as to factually why this might be happening.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. A lot of interesting questions here. But I know we like to talk about this sometimes. Quality or quantity as a small YouTuber?
Ooh. Well, I guess Derek Vergaud, if I've pronounced that right, doesn't know my opinion, but most of us do. I encourage quantity because it develops future quality and it builds skill sets. It allows you to go through the process and project of making videos multiple times. There's that idea of more shots at the target. And I just feel that in 6 months' time, if you've been able to make 25, 50 videos, 2 videos a week or 1 video a week, you can then look back at your first videos and say, wow, how bad were they? But look at where I've already developed my skills. But if you're trying to make the perfect video from day one, you may make the perfect video for your current skill set, which isn't particularly very good. And it allows you to iterate and improve whenever you make a video. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. Some people share it, some people don't.
I get more than 20 views a day, but 0 subscribers. What should I do to start getting more views and 20 subscribers a day? Well, it's funny you ask. You should definitely keep watching our channel because we're actually going through that kind of exact train of thought in future videos coming up very soon.
I think if we're to paraphrase, Dan, certainly one video that you're making, one of the early ones in the series, is try and picture and then even write down your ideal viewer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very specifically, the person you want to watch your content, and make a video for that one person every single time you create content. And over time, you'll develop a relationship with them, which will make them subscribe. Although the subscription aspect of it, me personally, is not particularly important. It's a fact that they're committing more of their watch time on YouTube to your content, and subscribing is just one aspect of that. I mean, I would be far more interested, me personally, in getting 40 views a day and still getting 0 subscribers, or 100 views a day and still getting 0 subscribers, because views actually reflect people's investment in time into your content and channel.
Well, yeah, when you watch a video from a creator, what's the next thing that happens when you go back on YouTube? The next time they post, or even just an older video of theirs, will pop up somewhere on your feed, most likely towards the top of your home feed, and you didn't subscribe, and these days, that's how a lot of people find content on YouTube. It's the subscription has very little to do with it. We still want everyone to get subscribers. It's still something that's very fun, what do you call it, metric to grow. But yeah, don't worry too much about that. Like if you're getting 20 views a day, worry about how you can get 40 views a day. Let the subscribers, get in there over time.
Okay, so a question here. I kind of like this one. Australian Ground Sloth asks, should I make my thumbnails simpler or more complex? So Dan, without seeing his thumbnails, we'll have a look at them in a second. My general rule of thumb for all creators is this. However long you're spending on your thumbnails right now, be it 5 minutes, half an hour, for the next 5 thumbnails, spend twice as long on them to make them better. On top of that, however complex your thumbnails are, and I'm still trying to find a better way to phrase this, but however complex your thumbnails are right now, make them half as complicated, because that tends to be the mistake that most creators make. They don't spend enough time on their thumbnails and they make them far too complicated. So with all of that being said...
Wait.
All right. Let Dan jump in.
I don't want to see the thumbnails just yet, because I want to say, I'll get distracted when I start looking at them. Your thumbnails, no matter who you are, should be simple in one way. I don't care what channel it is, what kind of channel it is. Your thumbnails and your titles should be simple in the sense that they are simple for your audience to understand. That's where the simplicity comes in the most. Your audience needs to have the light bulb moment the second they see it. That when people say you need a simple thumbnail, more often than not, that part of it is what they're talking about the most.
With that being said, let's now have a look at Australian ground sloth.
Got that way wrong.
Thumbnails. All right. So, quick impressions. I would say we've seen some shorts here. I don't know how long you're spending on your custom thumbnails for shorts, which ironically is a completely different train of thought in that you should probably spend no time on custom thumbnails for shorts because YouTube is trying to eradicate them from the experience. You see them on desktop, but you very rarely see custom short thumbnails on the mobile app now. I would say they are relatively simple. So that's one good aspect. But I think they're so simple and the title doesn't do enough to complement the thumbnail that I'm not getting that instant recognition with this content. And I think what's holding you back actually quite a lot is your decision to use these Lego backgrounds, because these dot things are so distracting and they're so in focus with everything else. Why? I'll just draw on it instead. What do you think, Dan?
I think that the mark is being missed in terms of simplicity for the audience, because I'm looking at all of these. I know what Legos are. And I know a lot of this pop culture that's being referenced, Mario, things like that. So I should be able to look at these thumbnails and at least get it, even if this is not even if I'm not your target audience. And every single one of these, I find myself asking and wondering, I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really, that's where I'm struggling with these.
And this negative space, it's just not working for me because this pattern is too distracting. The indentations of a Lego connections. I think this one is maybe a little bit better because it's zoomed in a lot more, so we see more of a character. I also think this one isn't too bad. The How to Build a Lego Spamton, because it's a very simple title and we just get to see the final product at the end of it. So those would be our general opinions on our thumbnails without going into too much detail.
We saw a channel yesterday, I think during channel audits, that was doing some stuff with Lego Mario, and great title and thumbnails. Like everything they were doing, very easy to kind of quickly understand, just whatever scenario they had set up with Mario. As someone who didn't watch the channel and I don't look for that kind of content, I knew exactly what those videos were about.
I think it was this channel, DZ Studios.
Yeah.
Let me just bring them up as a comparison. So if you look at the thumbnails here, they just pop. The colors really pop. And there's still the simplicity there of the Lego and the branding's there a bit. But those thumbnails really jump out at me, even though they're shorts thumbnails as well, some of these.
Yep. So just be looking for examples within your niche. Anyone worried about thumbnails, titles, look for those examples. And anyone can benefit from sitting down and trying to figure out who the heck is my target audience. Who's one person who would watch my videos no matter what, because they just love them. I need to learn everything about that person.
All right, Dan, while you're finding another question, let me just remind you of the astonishing Black Friday deal we have right now, which is that you can get 30% off Boost monthly plans up to 6 months. Or if you want to take the plunge and go for vidIQ and the entire meal ticket, everything included, that is all of the software, the Learning Academy, you get not only 40% off, so you're saving hundreds of dollars, but also a 30-minute channel audit conversation with one of our auditors. So do make sure to check the link in the description to take advantage of that. And in addition to this now, I think what I'm going to do is we are going to turn on subscriber mode on our live stream in about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to give you a little bit of a warning here. That means that for the last, I'd say 35 minutes, we're going to go to subscriber questions only. We've tested it previously, and we did a poll on it, and people thought it wasn't a bad idea. They're fine with doing it, so we're going to try it again. But you got a 10-minute warning. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure to subscribe, and you can continue asking your questions. But in the meantime, Dan, we don't want to put you full screen. There we are. I believe you have another question for us.
No, I got caught up on one, and then I got confused, and now I'm looking for another one.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I thought I had one, but I got too confused. Make sure your questions are, I don't know. Certain ones require us to look at your channels, and we're not really doing that today. So please be sure you're asking questions that would not require us to look at your channels. We might pull it up, we might not, but I'm skipping ones that are like basically without saying it, look at my channel.
How much information should be in my about section, or is it all about channel banners? So yeah, I think channel banner would be the priority here because more people are likely to see it. In terms of navigation, somebody's got to go to your channel, then got to go to the about section. So channel banner first. Look at all these subscribers that are hopefully going to come in now. Thank you, typical horror fiction. And then the about section. I think there's a character limit, so you can't put too much in there. I can't remember what it is. I think it's maybe 1,000 characters, 500 characters. I think the most important thing about the channel about section is don't necessarily talk too much about yourself, but talk about what value is in there for the viewer. And this very simple way I do this is when I look at channel descriptions, I look at how many times the about section includes I versus you. And if there's more yous, like I'm going to help you do this, or welcome, I want to welcome you to the channel, you are the center of it, etc., that tends to very quickly define if the creator's got the understanding of why their channel is here. It's for the audience, not necessarily for their own self-indulgent projects, although sometimes it can be. Anything to add there, Dan? Or do you think?
I think the about section, if you're not sure what to put in it, it could be a good exercise in what we've been talking about this afternoon, which is, who's your channel for? Who's your audience? And if you can't fill out that about section and basically present your channel to that person, you might need to sit down and still do a little bit of that research and try and figure out who is my channel for? Who would like this channel? Because that will feed directly into your about section. In terms of discoverability, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's good to have. It's good to have it filled out. And it also keeps you honest as a creator. It's like in my about section, I said, I am a channel about this. So making a video about that might not be a good decision.
Yeah, in terms of a video, you'd say, what's most important? And it's like a combination of content, thumbnail, title, video hook, description, and then tags is way down at the bottom. In terms of your channel, you're probably thinking your channel name, your channel banner, the front page of your channel, playlists, and then maybe the about section after that. Because I just don't think that many people eventually reach this page.
My videos gain views through browse features more than search. What does this mean? Am I doing something right? So I kind of look at search as just a different bucket on YouTube or a different avenue, however you want to think about it. So we have shorts, right? If you post shorts, they end up on the short shelf. That is a section of YouTube. If you make search-driven content, it will primarily appear when people search for that thing, right? So that's another way of looking at it. Like sometimes you make videos and you're making them just specifically for search intent. And other times when you make, I would say, videos that show up a lot in browse, that means these videos are being shared a lot with your current audience, people who already kind of know who you are. And, it's literally your titles and your thumbnails are good. They're getting the click. And then YouTube goes and says, hey, I'm going to share this video to people who didn't ask for it in their browse feeds because I think I know who might like this. So it's just different. You're just looking at different sections of YouTube. It doesn't necessarily mean you're doing anything right or wrong. That's my way of thinking about it. I'm generalizing.
Yeah. Very, very, very general consensus.
Yeah.
Would be that you want to get more views from browse and suggested because that's where most views come from on YouTube as a whole. And my philosophy is that generally speaking, as a smaller channel, you tend to get discovered first in search, but ultimately you want to start to develop a community and people who return to your content. I think return viewers is a much stronger reflection of browse and suggested, because people are seeing your content again and deciding to go into it. Whereas for search, there's a very different intent from the viewer. They're probably wanting an answer to a question and making a purchasing decision. And once they've got the answers to that, then they're less likely to return to future content from that channel. But, some channels do rely a lot on search. vidIQ has been one of them in the past because, of course, one of the biggest questions is, how do I get more views? How do I get more subscribers? But that means we are also prisoners, can't think of a better word than that, prisoners to seasonality and the popularity of those search terms. So if less people are searching for how to grow their channels, that can have an impact on our content. And that's what's happening right now. As the world opens up again post-pandemic and there's less people in lockdown and deciding to start making YouTube channels because they've got nothing better to do, search is declining and some of our videos are being severely impacted by that. But at the same time, in the new year, we would expect people to start searching for how to get more views and subscribers again. So hopefully we see a rise in views. So I guess there's slightly less control over your audience if you're relying on search, because search viewers have less investment in you as a creator.
I mean, a good example is what we just looked at a little while ago at the different videos on your chart there. So you have videos that we would target to search, right? Like how to get 1,000 subscribers. But then you have the news stories that pop up. And those aren't going to rank well in search because, I mean, it's so quick, right? Like everyone kind of knows this thing is happening. I don't need to worry about the title too much being about the news story because it's going to come and go so fast anyway. So I need to make sure my title and my thumbnail express some kind of, emotion or urgency, and your video's going out to an audience that is, in our case, very engaged, very interested in YouTube. I don't know. I had a train of thought there and I kind of lost it. I think you might have been with me and I lost you.
I think the cat maybe interfered with your
this thing, man.
There.
This
hoodie obsessed. A little to no competition in a niche I've created a channel for. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Were you shaking your head there? The question, Dan, over cat.
She's knocking stuff over, making noise, okay. Man.
So I think you've only answered half of the important question here. Yes, having little to no competition in your niche is brilliant because that means you have more opportunity to dominate that niche. Mm-hmm. But the question is, do you know if there's an audience? Is there a demand in that niche for the type of content you're going to create? Hopefully the answer is yes. Then you just need to go out and find that audience with the content. And that's going back to which we've kind of hinted at a little earlier, defining your perfect viewer that you want to reach with every single piece of content that you make. So it's promising, but we don't know the full facts of the niche that you're trying to capitalize on.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing in general to have other people in your space on YouTube because it creates this ecosystem, and these creators are kind of getting recommended to one another as a result. I was going to click that one next. So yeah, it's really interesting. Well, it'd be interesting to see kind of how that journey goes for you because you may have found something that is underserved on YouTube. Please share your thoughts on commenting on competitor channels. Is that a good way to get common eyes on your channel or maybe considered spammy?
I think as long as you're adding value to the conversation in that video, I think I would highly encourage that because you're becoming a member of a competitor's community. Hopefully it's more of a collaborative thing. I mean, sometimes I dip into Nate's videos and post comments. Usually they're more entertaining than valuable, but as long as there's the reader of a comment is getting something out of it, as opposed to you just going into somebody else's video and saying, I disagree with everything that you said in this video, and this is my response in this video. It's like,
yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, that's a little too spammy. You should be focusing on the audience that's in there in the moment, as opposed to trying to push them somewhere. I think, and then once you become part of the community, then people naturally are going to be intrigued and maybe visit your channel. Or the creator themselves is going to start to take an interest in what you're saying, and then maybe you can start a dialogue in that way.
See, that last point you made is exactly what I was going to say. If you're commenting on channels in the hopes that those viewers from that channel will see you in the comments and then go to your channel, you're doing it for the wrong reason. But if you're commenting on those channels in an effort to make yourself known in this community of other creators covering the same thing you're covering, that's good. That's a good thing to do. I have done that myself, and I'm becoming friends with a lot of the other creators in my space. So it's a networking opportunity. And since becoming better friends with the other creators in my niche, it's been really, really helpful in terms of content ideas, collaborations. So you really, I know we even use the word competitors, but you really don't want to, because it has like a negative connotation to it. You don't want to be thinking in terms of like, they're my competition and I must crush them, because in a lot of cases on YouTube, there's plenty to go around, and you bringing your voice to a topic usually only helps everybody else in the room, right? We're all kind of talking about this thing and giving it more validity, whatever that thing is. So I think you should be commenting as a way to contribute to the community and nothing more. No ulterior motive. That's how I would see it.
Subscriber chat mode is on. So if you want to continue asking questions, make sure that you're subscribed to the vidIQ channel, where hopefully over the last 90 minutes, you've gained a lot of value for absolutely free with no commitment. Now we're just asking for that little commitment of a subscribe, even though I've just said subscribers don't matter. I've decided to turn on the subscriber feature. And of course, if you're going to go to the next level and have a conversation with us one-to-one, then we've got that Black Friday deal. As you can see, Dan, I gave you 20 seconds there to find a question. Did you find one?
Do small creators judge themselves too soon? I picked this one in haste. You put me on the spot. Do small creators judge themselves too soon? I have a tendency to watch hours of YouTube knowledge videos, but I feel like that time should be spent making and experimenting. I think there's two different things.
I would always say nothing beats experience. So I would make content first and then watch education videos second. But again, that is just my personal opinion, because I just like to get my hands dirty and get practical. Because a lot of the times I watch, read theory, and then I just don't implement it. And that kind of sounds a bit weird, since I am one of these people being the educators. But, you know, I guess I'm practicing what I'm preaching. I've made nearly 1,000 videos here at vidIQ now in the last 5 years. That's the only way I know how to do things, is to just keep creating and then iterating.
You know what's interesting about us is that you and I have the unique opportunity to do what I'm about to say at the same time. So we, as people in the YouTube education space, will watch videos from other YouTube educators as a way to kind of, you know, hear other people's voices on the subject, keep us involved in the fight, if you will, to help people grow their YouTube channels. And it gets us, I don't know about you, Rob, but when I watch other creators in our space, I get really amped up. Like I'm ready to create videos. Coincidentally,
except for Film Booth, when I just watch their videos and think, man, there's no way I can compete with this. What have I been doing with my life? Well played, Ed. You made a good video there. I don't know. I need help. Somebody help me. That's how I feel when I watch his videos.
For the most part, we get excited though. So that's really cool. And at the same time, we're learning. And a lot of times we learn things about YouTube. Oh, I didn't even think of things in that frame of mind before. I'm glad I watched that video from Channel Makers. So we get to do that at the same time. We watch YouTube education content, but we also do the thing I'm going to tell you to do, which is not to just watch YouTube education content. Watch the content that got you into making videos in the first place.
Yeah, good point.
Continue watching that content, because if you are a gaming channel and you cover a certain game, and then let's say all the people you used to watch, you just automatically view them as your competition now. You don't want to see what they're doing. I'm not worried about what they're doing. I'm focused on me now. Or you just don't give yourself time to continue enjoying that content and you disconnect from it. You're kind of taking away what was part of the passion that started your channel in the first place, which was watching these creators, you know, do what they do. So take time to not just watch YouTube education videos, but watch the videos that get you motivated in the first place. And yeah, if you need to, segment your time. I'm going to watch YouTube for the purpose of education or inspiration for 1 hour a day, and then we're going to spend 3 hours a day making my own content, or however you need to break that up. But try not to get into over analyzing mode. I've watched 20 YouTube education videos, and now I have too many things that I need to think about, and I just can't create. You don't want to be there.
A good recent example of this for me was I was watching a random tech channel, actually, and they were relatively big. I think they're like 10,000 subscribers or something, but high quality produced videos. And right in the middle of his video, he did a question of the day. Like, say, he just took a random question from his audience that was somewhat connected to the topic, but he answered that in about 15 seconds, and I thought, that's intriguing. That you're managing to involve your audience. You are stepping away from the core topic of the video, but you're doing it 3 or 4 minutes in. So hopefully the person's already invested enough in the video. Is that going to promote future engagement? So that's something I'm actually testing now. I've only done it once, where I had like a question of a day in the middle of one of the videos, and it actually reduced audience retention churn. It actually flattened the line. But that was only on one video, so I need to experiment with this a little bit more in future stuff. I think I was talking about video intros, but the question was about monetization. So it was like really separated from what I was talking about. Actually, I'm going to bring that up in the background. But,
I saw that video from you, and it's funny because I saw a creator do that recently, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if Rob saw the same thing. Maybe we watched the same creator that did that.
Might have been.
Because
one that was shared. Was it the one that was shared in the Slack channel?
Is that what happened?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. It's because that's funny. I saw somebody do that recently. I'm like, oh, that's kind of an interesting. Like they created a segment, like just a few seconds long in their regular video.
Now I'm trying. Here we go. Right, bear with me, folks. This is probably a bit boring. Okay.
I do have a question I want to get to once we.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to just share this. Oh, my mouse controls are all over the place. So, if you hide that question, you're not going to be able to find it again, Don, are you?
I can hide from here. No, I'm good.
Right. So I'm just going to play it. I'm going to mute it so you can see the audience retention. So I'm just talking about stuff in general. And then here's a question of the day. So this is just something completely unrelated. And the audience retention there is like very flat. I'm maybe losing about 1.5% of viewers. So it looks as if it didn't impact at all. But then after I end the question of the day, a couple of people leave. So I'm wondering if that's something I need to pay attention to. But as I say, I need to test this more. This is an experiment, and I'm wondering if it's going to work.
So question is from Small Potatoes Gaming. I am currently streaming 9 hours per day all week, which is a huge commitment. Is that too much? What's a good medium? I'm a gaming channel. Thanks in advance. So 9 hours per day. I would say if it were me, I couldn't do that. Like I got too much going on, unfortunately. As much as I love streaming, couldn't do 9 hours in a day. There was a time where I did that and I burnt out really fast. So if you're thriving at 9 hours a day, if you do 9 hours and you're like thinking to yourself, I can go 10, then that really does come down to you. But what I would say is that assuming you're streaming on YouTube, especially, you have an opportunity to take some of that content and then turn like clips of it and things like that into really fun, shareable moments on your channel. And if you do that, make sure you give them context, edit them so people who didn't watch the stream can understand them. Even if you're streaming on Twitch and then putting clips on YouTube, whatever that may be, 9 hours a day is a long time to stream. And that's time that you could be doing some of that editing too. And when it comes to streaming on YouTube, you want to make sure that you're using that feature of YouTube, the discoverability part of YouTube, meaning you're making discoverable content.
Is it a good use of your audience's time? I think is a question you should answer. An example of this might be, I know that stock trading channels sometimes do epic live streams throughout the entire day, tracking the stocks that they're buying and selling, because that's really in the moment and their audience absolutely loves that. And it's almost live. Whereas I think there are some live streams that people may watch on a little bit of a delay. What I'm seeing here is that you're covering the Pokemon. There's been just a recent release of Pokemon, right? Dan, like Shiny Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. I think, yes, covering that in great detail is good because it's just been released. But are you missing out on opportunities for video on demand tutorial evergreen content that could sustain a channel a little bit longer? Like, let's say instead of live streaming for 9 hours a day, you could live stream for 3 hours a day and spend 4 or 5 hours on a really good tutorial based on that topic.
I mean,
at the moment, it looks like you're just live streaming all of the time and you're getting views from it, but those views are very much in the moment. They're not gonna have much longevity to them, which means you go live stream again and live stream again.
Yeah, you could be. I have a friend who wants to start streaming on YouTube, and they want to because YouTube's discoverability features are awesome. But what they don't want to do is get stuck editing videos. They're like, I really just want to do the streaming part, Dan. I don't really want to get into the editing. And I've chatted with them a lot about this because I'm like, I know you say that, but at the same time, it is a missed opportunity. You can do that, but it's a missed opportunity not to make a little bit of video on demand. And what the strategy we came up with that my friend thinks will work for them is to stream. And while you're streaming, have a segment in the stream where you're like, hey, everybody, I also make videos, and I'm actually going to make one right now. So if I seem a little bit disconnected from chat, it's actually because I'm going to record a segment for my next video, and I'm going to release that video tomorrow. So if you want to see it all come together. But we just got to this gym fight, and I want to put it in the video. So I'm going to hit record and blah, blah, blah. So be honest with your audience, tell them what's going on. And it's cool for them. They get to see some behind the scenes of your video creation process. And now you, while you're streaming, can also make videos. And my friend and I kind of settled on that as like the compromise. But find a way that works for you to make content for this channel, because this is a hot game right now. And knowing what I know about it, there are so many video opportunities for this, not just streaming. It's a fun game to stream, but there's so many things you could show off in video form, 5 to 10 minute videos that will, continue to grow your channel, and that grows your streaming audience. But to answer the question, if 9 hours is enough for you, is it too much? That was up to you. That really does come down to personal preference, I think.
Quite a few questions on this topic of niching and finding target audiences. I'd love to be able to find this channel so that we can maybe almost do an on the spot. What's my target audience? Yeah, I found it. Okay. So again, we're not doing a channel audit here, but if we were to bring up the channel, Dan, and just take a look at it for a minute, see like the channel banner and the thumbnails, and then start to maybe develop an ideal viewer.
Like, I already know
who is watching. Who should be watching this channel? Dan apparently has already got the answer.
Yep.
So Dan, take it away.
You're trying to target somebody who is looking for home productivity tips. So when I see cleaning and batch cooking and things like that, I think of somebody who is in their house and they're trying to be more productive. So that, just given the banner and the content I'm already seeing, that's the through line here. It's okay, tips for cleaning my house, tips for batch cooking, meaning like I need to cook a week's worth of meals, a week's worth of lunches right now. So that is from me, I think that's the target audience.
Okay, so let's start asking some questions and try and really define the audience. So is the viewer likely to be male or female? And we're just, I guess we're just role playing here. I'm going to guess female. How old is the potential viewer? I'm going to say between the ages of 24 and 45. Does this person have a family or children? I'm going to say yes. Let's say they have 2 children under the age of 5. What is the income of this person? Well, they're a full-time mom right now. So they don't really earn an income, but they have a little time to do the side hustle of making YouTube videos to share what they've understood. So those are just a few examples of what I'm thinking about, Dan. What what might you be asking the questions for here, or have I stolen all of the best ones?
Those were, yeah, I think those are some pretty obvious ones. Obviously these are the exercises you want to run because you're going to learn more about your target audience as you make videos, and you could learn a lot from just people in your comments. So you're seeing questions pop up over and over again, and what are they interested in? What are the types of things they're talking about? What are the products that they're sharing? Because you could get really, really focused here. Like I'm seeing a lot of products in this middle thumbnail here, the grocery haul. So maybe you find that uh, the product, the products that people tend to go for in your niche are name brands. They don't like generics for some reason, or maybe it's an actual brand, like they use Clorox over Lysol or something like that. Like these are just things you pick up on, and a lot of those can influence video decisions.
And then what I'm seeing is a couple of videos here about spirituality and tips for getting married. So then we're starting to move into a slightly different topic here about relationships.
Yeah.
And while your viewer may share those motivations, goals, fears, etc., does it align strictly with your topic, which seems to be, as Dan said, productivity in the house? So again, we're going really niching down here, and I'm hoping that we can really nail this down into really a structured video, which is going to help you do this. So the pressure's on for you, Dan, but I've seen the notes. They look good. Looking forward to watching it.
I mean, I could see this channel covering certain types of furniture that could help organize, part of your house. Like if you have a messy hallway or kitchen or something like that, like, well, I just got this thing from this, popular furniture store here, right? And this cabinet not only looks cool, but look at all these compartments it has. Like, so now we're talking about a channel that's, about home productivity, reviewing a piece of furniture. But again, if it's for that audience, and if your audience likes to get into home organization, then it's completely relevant to what you're doing.
Let me give you an idea of where vidIQ currently sits in terms of their target audience, whether it be through design or just the creators who are on this channel. At the moment, I feel as if the vidIQ audience is predominantly male, because there are male presenters. And I think that's just the nature of the beast right now. I think the age group is probably somewhere in the region of like 13, 14 to 25, 30. I think that the channel is likely under 1,000 subscribers, and the goal of that channel right now is to get to 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time. They want to monetize their channel. That is a big goal and motivator for a person watching vidIQ. Now, this person has probably had some form of success on their channel, be it a video that's got 10,000 views or a certain video that's brought in 100 subscribers, but they haven't been able to leverage on that success. And because of that, they're starting to get frustrated with their progress and their YouTube journey. And they've probably been on YouTube for less than a year. So what they've done is they've searched on YouTube for how to get more views, how to get more subscribers, or a similar search that has resulted in vidIQ cropping up in their search results. And so that's roughly where I think our current audience is. Whether we need to retarget our audience going forward, that's a big discussion we're having within vidIQ right now. So again, that's just thinking about the ideal viewer who should be watching your videos, and you making videos for that ideal person.
A lot of interesting questions coming in still. We still got some time. So is it a good idea to have a sub special on a small channel? I don't want people to think I'm ungrateful, but I don't know if people would care or for deviate my channel from my niche. I will say that in the channel I'm testing, I've not done a single subscriber special, and no one said a word about it. And whenever it comes up in the comments, it's usually in the form of, hey, congrats on X many subscribers. And in the comments, I will say, thank you. For me, I think like when I see a channel I'm following do a subscriber special, I'm happy for them, but the whole video is spoiled in the title and the thumbnail. I know exactly what they're going to say. I know they're very excited that they just hit that goal, and I don't care. It's like, awesome for you, and I'm like genuinely happy for you, but I don't care to watch this video. I'm going to wait until you upload the thing I normally subscribe for.
So Dan, would you implement the thank you as a little aside in just a regular video? You'd spend 30 seconds saying, hey, I just hit 1,000 subscribers, and just say thank you to all of you for making that happen.
to that point, I haven't actually done that either. But yes, that's the closest I would come to a subspecial. Is I wouldn't even put in the title that I'm thanking you for 1,000 subscribers. It's literally the next video I make after hitting the goal is, by the way, you guys got me to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Anyway, today we're doing this. And
now,
yeah,
if you were a YouTube education channel, like I know Chris Johnson, who's been following us recently, it may be valuable for him to do that. Like, say, I hit 100 subscribers, and this is how I did it because it's related to his audience, and then 1,000 subscribers, and somebody like him could take their audience on a journey, which hopefully they're on as well, because they're trying to grow their YouTube channels. If you were to ask me when should I do a dedicated sub special, I'm thinking, and so this is a long way down the road, 100,000 subscribers and 1 million subscribers, because there are rewards from YouTube that are connected to that. And when we did our 1 million subscriber special, a lot of people were invested, and we got quite a few subscribers from that, because I think everybody was trying to be the one who was the millionth subscriber, even though that's impossible to track. And I think those are the only times we've strictly done it for subscriber milestones.
Yeah. If anyone were to come at you and say, wow, you just hit 1,000, but you didn't say a word about it, that seems pretty ungrateful. You probably don't want them in your community anyway, I would say. So don't worry about the ungrateful bit. Just worry about making quality content for your audience.
Actually, there's a very quick example here on this channel, which we've just been looking at. They did a subscriber special to celebrate 50 subs. Why is my magnifying glass just not working? So slow. Well, you can see it here. There we go. 50 sub celebration. Very small sample size, but this has got the least amount of views of anything in the vicinity.
Yeah.
Because your audience likely is just not that bothered about your progress right now on YouTube just yet. It's too early in the creator's journey.
So there you go. Those are my very harsh thoughts on subscriber specials. All right.
I'll hide this screen now so we can bring up some more questions.
Just looking here. I have hundreds of views on my channel on some videos, but they aren't bringing in returning viewers or subscribers. Why do you think this is?
My guess, without knowing the channel and doing more research, would be that these videos are search-based traffic. So they're bringing in an audience on a regular basis. But again, it goes back to that viewer intent. They found the video in search. They either got the answer they needed or they didn't get the answer they needed. They're just interested in the value of the content. They're not really invested in you as a creator. They've moved on. So, and this is something that maybe I'm going to be trying to research more in 2022. It's turning your education videos and your search-based content into better storytelling videos, which get the viewer engaged beyond what they were actually trying to find in the first place on your content.
There you go. What do you do with insult comments? Delete, block, ignore? What if it affects me? I'm not sure what they mean by what if it affects me, but I will say I delete and or block every single time. I give them zero thought. If I see anything that even could be construed as like negativity, delete. If I'm unsure, I just delete. But if I'm sure they're like going to be a negative presence in my comments day in and day out, I block them. It costs you nothing. And yes, it's still really like, it's one of those things that you say it doesn't affect you, but you know, a little bit, you're like, I wish they didn't say that. Or there's some part about it you identify with. And so you give it way more emotional time than you should. This is something, building up that thick skin is just something that comes with uploading a lot of content, seeing it time and time again. But yeah, get rid of it. Like, think about the people who are visiting your comments and trying to carry on that conversation. And then this person coming, busting down the door and making it crappy for everybody else. They're bringing it down for everybody else. You want to get rid of those people and their comments.
You can silence them with the delete, block, hide, and your focus should be on the positivity from your audience as opposed to any negativity, because it's just toxic. It's not going to help you, and it's only going to help the troll if you start to acknowledge and recognize it in some way.
Yeah. Same goes for if you start a Discord or if you're live streaming and you got someone in chat. Don't think twice about removing people like that, because whenever, especially live conversation, whenever someone comes in like that, they bring the experience down for everybody else. You've got to be thinking not about them, but about the people who actually are there to engage with your content and who like you, So always be making it a better place for them.
Think of it as a brick and mortar store. If somebody came in and they were disruptive and they were causing chaos, you would just turf them out of the door immediately, because not only are they disrupting your business, they're disrupting your other customers. And, that's how you should try and treat your YouTube channel as a business.
Yeah. 100%. All right. Refreshing my chat here.
I'm going to ask a question, by the way, to all of you. I did a poll and I said, is anybody buying anything for during the Black Friday sales? And I'm actually surprised by this. Only a third of people are actually taking advantage of Black Friday sales. Maybe it's because it's not a thing in your country, or you're lacking the funds. But for anybody who is thinking of buying anything, just let us know in the comments what you think you're going after. I'd love to show you what I bought recently, Dan. I'm going to try this, but this is probably going to fail miserably. So can you see this monitor?
Yeah.
So it used to be like here, but I bought this. Oh, you can't see it.
You bought an
arm.
arm.
I bought a tall monitor arm so that it's now stacked above these two monitors. So it's kind of like above. I don't know if it's working yet. I don't know if I'm using it more, but that's kind of like it wasn't really a Black Friday purchase either. I just bought it now. I don't know if it was any cheaper, but that's the one thing I bought during Black Friday.
That's pretty cool. I've been thinking about getting a third monitor at some point. I don't know where I'd put it. So maybe there.
That is the problem, really, isn't it? I bought like a 32-inch widescreen monitor, and then there was an amazing deal on a 34-inch widescreen monitor like a couple of months after. So I thought, I have to buy that. But now I've got 3 monitors, and I use 2 of them. I'm just trying to figure out how to use the third one more effectively.
Yeah. Let's see. We have time for a couple more questions, I think.
Somebody's going to buy a 43-inch television.
Nice.
Is that somebody bought their own merch? So they use the Black Friday offers, a free delivery to buy their own merch. Story checks out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, that's interesting. I have one of these, an Insta360 Go 2. And it's actually, where is it? I think it's here. Have I got it here? Yeah. So this, it looks like AirPods, but it's actually got a Diddy camera inside. Look at that. And even better, or even worse maybe, you pull it out and it's that size. It's a tiny camera, and you can attach it to things through magnets. So there's like a pendant. Oh, I've got to show you this now. So there's this pendant here. And then I put it under my shirt like that. And then look at that. It's magnetized to my shirt. And then I can walk around recording people. Now, as per usual, I bought something that I thought was really cool, and I just really haven't used it that much yet because I don't do much filming outside. But I don't know, I may use it in the future. So yeah, I would probably recommend getting one if you do a lot of outdoors recording and action cam stuff.
I could see that being good for like some B-roll, depending on type of channel, of course.
Yeah, could be.
All right, let's see what we got here. I did see a super chat just pass by, super sticker rather. Thank you for the super sticker, much appreciated. All right. A lot of questions that kind of boil down to like, how do I grow? We have a lot of videos on that subject on the channel, obviously. So please do check out some of our content there. Let's see. Well, okay. How many subs and views should I expect to get as a starting channel? So just starting out, what should you be expecting to get? I think the first thing I would say is that YouTube and the viewers on the platform don't owe you any views. You can definitely expect 0 views when you start, and then be thankful for anything from there. I'm only being harsh like that because I think it's kind of a mindset people put themselves in. Like, well, if I start, I could probably get at least 10 views a video. Like, well, you could also get a million views a video. Like, it's kind of the sky's the limit, but it really isn't. There's no, just because you make videos, there's no like amount of views that you're guaranteed.
If you want some numbers to attach to this, because that's what people like, I would say, very generally speaking, if your first video gets 50 views, I think that's a really good start. I think if your first video gets more than 100 views, I would say that's brilliant. Well done. Fantastic job. If you get, 1 or 2 subs from that first video, brilliant. If you have, what shall I say? I think if you have more than 20 subscribers in your first month, again, you're doing a phenomenal job. But as Dan said, YouTube doesn't really owe you anything to begin with. Your first videos are going to be your worst videos, and you are going to start to build momentum later down the line. Now, if you want to cheat and ask people to subscribe to your channel, ask your friends and family, you can get 10, 20 subscribers very early on. But as in a video that I'm publishing very, very soon, that is the first mistake that many creators make. They take the easy road, the easy solution to reach a milestone. But just imagine if that first subscriber on your channel after a few days was from somebody completely random, like a stranger has enjoyed your content enough to press that red button. I think that feeling would be amazing. And I didn't experience it because I'm sure I cheated when I first subscribed. I probably used another account to subscribe to my own channel just to see what would happen, and nothing did, obviously. Yeah, 50 views, fantastic. So that's a really good start.
That is really good. So how do I make trailers for the beginning of my live stream? Kind of like the one we have. If you go to edit your live stream after you've scheduled it, there is a button in there for basically adding a live stream trailer. Is this something
so what a trailer is it's a video that you upload to YouTube as like just a regular video, and then you click on, so once the live stream is ready to go, you click on edit. But this isn't going to work for some reason. There we go. You go to, I think, customization, and then you scroll down, and then you can add a trailer there, and then you would add that unlisted video to the live stream so that it plays up before the live stream goes live.
There's also a redirect, which what that is after your stream's over, something else will automatically play for the people who stuck around.
But that's only live streams, isn't it? I don't think can you send it to other. I didn't think you could do that.
I thought, maybe it was for the premieres. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah, look,
YouTube is coming out with a feature for raids. It's not called raids. And maybe that's what I'm anticipating.
So you would assume that you could yeah. Maybe I need to put in a direct link to make that work. I'm going to do that in about.
Let's read the tooltip again. Redirects you, keep viewers engaged across multiple events, add a live stream or premiere for. Add a live.
It's going to be premiere. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. So if you're premiering a video after your live stream ends, you could do it that way. Sorry about that. They are looking into more features like that, though. They want people to be able to redirect from one event to another, and that I think is coming next year. All right. I think, actually, Rob, that puts us at time.
Oh, it does. We're at noon for me, 3 p.m. for you.
We got
another time of the day wherever you are.
One last super chat as well. My first video was at 289 views from 3 weeks ago.
Cool.
Work was insane, but I have some more coming finally. Nice, Tech Mixer. Congrats. And thank you.
Just imagine like when you've done 20 videos that work will be less insane because you'll be so good at doing it, and then you'll be experimenting with new things for your content. But yeah, it's a good start.
Indeed. So thank you everyone for joining us today for another Q&A session. We will be back on, well, when will we be back actually? We'll probably have a video out on Monday.
So we got another video coming out later this week. We'll have one on Monday, but we may be absent live streaming wise next week because we are having a bit of a get together vidIQ wise. So I don't know if anybody's actually going to be available to do the live streams. If the live streams appear at the usual times, then hey ho, we're doing some live streams. But yeah, for the first time, maybe I'd say since the beginning of the pandemic, we may be taking a bit of a live streaming break. So we do appreciate in advance your patience, but we'll be back certainly the week afterwards at the beginning of December.
Once the holidays kick off, there are less days for us to do streams. So there might be a couple days in the last couple months here where we take off. But for the most part, Tuesdays and Wednesdays we're live. Mondays and sometimes Thursdays we got videos. So yeah, check us out. And of course, the Black Friday special, 30% off of Boost for the next 6 months if you buy now, or you can get an annual plan for 40% off plus a 30-minute one-on-one channel audit session with one of our vidIQ coaches. So there you go.
Shall we say some goodbyes to people if anybody wants to say goodbye?
All right.
Yeah, we've got Calvin. Thank you, guys. See you. For Shreg K, it's 11 p.m. for you. That's some commitment there. Thank you very, very much. We've also got a goodbye. We got a question from Joe's Phenomenal. Did you bring that one up, Dan?
I thought Joe's was saying bye. I didn't see it said question. Wanted to thank you for yesterday's audit. All you guys helped me so much. It's a debt I can never repay. Joe's Phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining us yesterday.
Well, you could repay us with some wonderful salads. Just don't post them to us. Like if you're at a conference, Vid Summit or VidCon, just rustle up something for us, and the debt will be more than repaid. You are more than welcome, Joe.
Goose Blocks will say goodbye to you. Jensen Jupiter will say goodbye to you. Dad and Kat, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow. Thank you for being here. And please stay safe, especially if you're going out for any Black Friday sales or anything like that. Also stay safe in that context. And I'll say goodbye to Sparky YouTube.
Let's roll the outro as I double salute everybody.